So just when you think you've seen every vantage point of Niagara Falls, we got a new one for you. It's called the tunnel, and you are going to see it today. Very excited to be within the Niagara Parks Power Station with Kim Viney from Niagara Parks. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, welcome.
I've never been in here yet.
Well, you know, no time like the present.
Right? Okay, so before we get to the tunnel, because
Yes.
this is your baby, I know you're super excited about it. Anybody that hasn't been in here,
Yes.
why is this place so special?
Yeah, so this building was built between 1901 and 1905, and it is in incredible condition, and we think it's the last intact power station in the world of this vintage. So it's a very, very special spot.
What would happen with it if Niagara Parks didn't?
Yeah, you know,
Take it on?
it had been mothballed, so it was decommissioned in 2006, and power stations were turned over to Niagara Parks in 2009. So we've had a while just to think about how do we bring this to life? How do we make it part of the guest experience here at the park?
Well, last summer, Currents
Yes.
started, and that's where this happens at night.
That's right.
And if you haven't seen that, that's quite an experience for anybody taking
Amazing,
it in.
yes.
But it's intact, right?
Yes.
Like, what are these big blue
Yeah.
things here?
Yeah, so these are the original generators. So there's 11 of them in this station, and water was brought directly from the Niagara River, which is why it sits right beside the falls, into these huge 10-foot pipes, down into the turbines, and then those turbines spun shafts that then fed up to here, and that's how electricity was created, and this all happened at the turn of the century.
Okay. Where's all that action happening now?
So down at Sir Adam Beck, a little further south of the river, and you know, it's essentially the same technology. So this was the first green energy in the world.
Amazing. Okay. Now we get into the tunnel.
Yes.
Okay. What is the tunnel?
Yeah, so the tunnel is where all of the 11 turbines return all of their water back to the river. So we're going to go into this amazing cathedral-like tunnel, and it is exactly as it looked 100 years ago.
Where the water went back out.
Correct. Yes.
And we get to take an elevator down?
We get to take an elevator down.
What's that elevator ride like?
So it's glass enclosed. So we're actually going to see all of the different levels. This is essentially like an iceberg. So what we see up on the surface has nothing compared to what's below.
Okay. The tunnel, it's open right now.
It is open.
And you get to explore it with us this morning on Pouring Live. Come on. You coming in? Yeah, come on in. Good morning. We are in the elevator for the tunnel at the Niagara Parks Power Station, checking out some of the original turbines that were built back in the 1900s. Great to be back with Kim from Niagara Parks. It's fascinating to see the work that was done.
Yeah, it was all hand done, like rivet. They didn't have welding like we have today, so things were riveted. They were building molds and creating patterns, and it's just phenomenal, the work. I mean, this is back at the turn of the century. This had never been done.
It's so cool for the elevators to have glass, to be able to see this. How important was that when coming up with the concept for the tunnel?
Yeah, that was critical, because really it's the way for the guests to connect the dots from what they've seen up above and now really understand how much of the infrastructure sits below grade.
Okay. And then this is the money shot as the
This-
door opens?
As the door opens, this is the
Well, we get to see Mike. Hey, Mike.
introduction
And then, oh my
to
goodness.
our
Okay.
tunnel.
Wow.
Isn't it fabulous?
Amazing. Was the elevator here? The
No.
ele-
So that elevator is brand new, and that was designed as part of this guest experience to really set up a bit of a story before guests actually drop into 180 feet down below grade.
That's what it is. We're down 180 feet.
Into this spectacular, look up there. So that is a shaft, a maintenance shaft that goes right up to the generator hall floor.
Where is the entrance here?
Yes.
What was here,
So this
Kim?
is called the wheel pit. So this was the area that initially collected the water from all 11 turbines. So after they had finished spinning and creating electricity with the generators up above, those turbines returned its water to this wheel pit area, and from this wheel pit, it carried down through this amazing 2,200 feet long tunnel.
What did it look like when you first came?
You know,
Yeah.
very similar to this, only with no lighting. So we were here with our flashlights And just we wanted to make sure we kept the space as authentic as possible, so we've done as little as we could. Obviously want to make sure it's safe for our guests, but we've tried to keep it as authentic as the day that the power station was decommissioned.
Because even the tunnel itself, they would have had blasts. They would have to...
Yeah, this is all created with dynamite, pickaxes, shovels, horsing.
They didn't have a big bore back in the 1900s.
There's no big Becky dig.
Right?
Yeah.
And then even...
So the shape, so this was all hand created by bricklayers. So we have a single layer of brick. It was on the floor as well, so all of this floor is new. So one layer of brick, and then they didn't have the technology to pour concrete in an arch back then, so 4 layers of brick have been laid to create that archway up above. Now you see we're still getting water. So
there's still a few leaks?
Yeah.
Nothing to be concerned about?
No, nothing to be concerned about. This was designed to accept groundwater from the entire area. So we've kept that as a feature as well. We've had to create obviously drainage to get it back out to the river, but we wanted again to make it taste and feel and smell, and it's just like it was.
How exciting is this for you?
Oh, it's a legacy project. It's once in a lifetime.
To see people now walking through it.
Oh, it's just, and the smiles and the amazement when you hit that new viewing platform, because again...
We're not even there yet.
No.
Again, it's another vantage point to see the falls.
Exactly.
Because a lot of us locals, we've all seen the falls numerous times, but not from what we're about to see.
It's a new way to see Niagara Falls.
Let's go for a walk. Come with us on Morning Live. The tunnel is open, and it is quite something to experience. Good morning, welcome back to the falls and the tunnel. So we have walked the tunnel. I am with somebody who's probably quite happy that the tunnel is open too, the CEO of Niagara Parks, David Dames. How are you?
Very happy, thrilled to have visitors here. We've been open since July 1st, and people coming from the U.S., from near market as well, the Southern Ontario market. Quebec, just talking to a family from Quebec this morning, so they're enjoying the whole tunnel experience.
Okay. How far did we walk, David?
We've just walked 2,200 feet. So we're following where the water went from the power station located the other side of the Horseshoe Falls, or south of the Horseshoe Falls. The water went down 11 penstocks, ended up in what's called the wheel pit, gathering up all the water, and filled half of this tunnel with water when the power station was operating.
So half of this tunnel, if you look, like maybe the light?
Exactly. So where the lights are now, that's how high the water was when this plant was operating.
Constant flow.
Constant flow. Exactly. Yep.
And coming out where?
For 105 years, so the water would come out in the lower Niagara River. So all the water that was used for hydroelectric power generation was returned to the Niagara River. So taken in the upper river, returned to the lower river.
Okay. You've been with Niagara Parks for how long?
9 years.
Okay. Was this even a thought when you started 9 years ago?
Not exactly, no. And so we knew that we wanted to do the adaptive reuse of, we actually have 3 decommissioned hydro plants. This is the first one. We've turned into a new visitor attraction. Okay. So we opened phase 1 last year in 2021, and now phase 2 with the tunnel experience in 2022.
Okay. Getting a little bit wet, so that's why you have the ponchos.
It's part of the experience, getting a little wet at Niagara Falls. Yeah. You know, it's the negative ions, as Mayor Diodati talks about, with from the falls itself.
But it literally is the light at the end of the tunnel. And the best part about this too is being able to see the falls from a different vantage point.
That's right, so a whole new perspective on the lower Niagara River. So I always say everyone should see the falls different seasons, different time of day, and from different perspectives. So to see it from Niagara City Cruises on the boat tour experience, to see it from Niagara Parks Journey Behind the Falls, where you're just located just to the left of the Horseshoe Falls to feel the power of the falls, or the zip line, Wild Play Niagara Falls zip line, or now here at the tunnel on the lower viewing platform.
The tunnel is open, and we'll explore the platform a little bit and how you constructed this when we come back on Morning Live. Well, good morning. Listening to the power of Niagara Falls coming down from a whole new vantage point. It's the tunnel, and it is open. And some might put a poncho on when they come experience the tunnel. But when the CEO of Niagara Parks, David Dames, doesn't wear a poncho, then I'm not wearing a poncho either. We're getting wet. Good to see you.
Well, you've got your great tourism shirt on here. I've got a jacket on though, so I'm cheating a little bit. But it's a great morning out here, isn't it? Like the sun is shining, the water flow over the falls. To have out here on the viewing platform, have our guests out here, it's spectacular.
Mist. Is there always mist coming down?
Almost always, but there are some moments where there isn't, and that's pretty special too. Just to be out here without the mist, but then again, the mist You're supposed to have all these negative ions as well to help your skin.
Oh, this is good for your skin.
This is good for you.
Oh, working
Yeah.
working in, everybody. All right, let's talk about the platform.
Yes.
Because the tunnel was here. The tunnel's been here for over 100 years. The
Right.
platform is what you guys brought.
Exactly. Tunnel was built in 1905. We built this viewing platform over 4 months, so from March to June. 65-foot viewing platform out to the lower Niagara Gorge here. Rankin Construction built it for us, and you've got to admit it's a hell of a view from here.
Well, there's no precedence. Like, what did you follow when you're coming up with the idea to build this platform or the tunnel altogether?
Well, we worked with our attraction consultant, Forick, and a few others as well, to sort of think, well, what could be the experience here? And we had different concepts for a viewing platform, but we landed on this one because we did have to shore it up, literally and figuratively, for weather conditions. Think about the winter down here as well, because we're going to try and keep this attraction open year-round the best we can. So we may have some maintenance around March, April when the ice boom comes out, but we're going to try and keep it open year-round.
How do you want people to experience this?
We want them to enjoy the whole Niagara Parks Power Station, from the generator hall, follow the flow of water, through the 2,200-foot brick-lined tunnel, which is a great experience, and then come out and see the natural environment here.
It is quite something. Congratulations.
Oh, it's a team effort, so many involved in this, and Niagara Parks is very proud from our commission to our staff
But
team.
as you said, being able to see the falls from different vantage points at different times of the year is magical, and it's just so special to have this now.
Well, and I can't wait to see it when it does start to get a little wintry down here. Imagine.
Okay, want to go out? Let's go for a stroll. Let's get a little bit more wet. The tunnel.
Well, and the boat tour is out
Open.
right now.
We're exploring on Morning Live.